Good morning, and welcome to the ExpressionEngine 7 launch event. My name is Tom Jaeger. I'm the refounder of ExpressionEngine. A little less than a year ago, I had the privilege of announcing ExpressionEngine Pro, and with it, bringing front-end editing to every existing ExpressionEngine site. The response to that has been incredible. Today, I have the privilege of announcing version 7, and we hope you're as excited as we are about it. When we stepped in at the helm of ExpressionEngine, we wanted to see ExpressionEngine grow. We also wanted to see the community grow. We're happy to report that 2 years later, we've seen a lot of growth. We also wanted to see the CMS grow in its capabilities, its user experience, as well as its position in the marketplace. And we believe that version 7 is a big step in this direction. When we acquired ExpressionEngine, it was coming off the back of having just gone open source after being sold to Digital Locations, then being sold back to Ellis Lab, which was really part of the equation of us acquiring it. We knew we had to push the platform forward, and we started to chart a new course. A course not just for ExpressionEngine, but where we believed content management systems as a whole needed to head. Version 6 was a big step forward. For starters, it was the first long-term support version of ExpressionEngine that's ever been released, receiving updates through 2025 and security updates through 2026, ultimately bringing a new control panel, 8 new field types, conditional fields, reCAPTCHA, a new rich text editor with 2 different engines under the hood, the jump menu, a brand new command line interface, as well as the new requests add-on and new tags to manage members on the front end of your site. Beyond this, there's a lot more in version 6. We then stepped back and asked, what would it look like to break outside the confines of the control panel? This is when we developed and released ExpressionEngine Pro, bringing front-end editing to all existing ExpressionEngine sites. With it, we also brought the ability to override cookies right inside of ExpressionEngine, as well as implement multi-factor authentication, customize branding, the ability to clone entries, as well as create custom dashboards upon login. We also included low search and low variables. But we stepped back, and there was still more we needed to bring to the community at large. ExpressionEngine Pro had a few unintended consequences as well. For starters, it was often looked at as an add-on to ExpressionEngine instead of part of the core. Secondly, when we looked down the road at what's coming in ExpressionEngine, we realized there'd be an ever-widening gap between ExpressionEngine and ExpressionEngine Pro. So we knew we either had to go big or go bigger, and we chose to go bigger. So we asked the question, what would really bring ExpressionEngine up the ranks and provide the best tools possible to build web content? We saw that giving users all that Pro has to offer, as well as what's new and coming in version 7, it would place ExpressionEngine as one of the most robust, stable, and powerful content management systems on the market. Andy's going to share more on this later. So where are we? For designers, developers, and agencies, many of you have asked us to help market and position ExpressionEngine in specific ways. We're happy to share that as of today, you're building one of the best content management systems our space has to offer. Most sites will no longer need a standard pile of add-ons. With low search and low variables, Wigwam, which was replaced with the rich text editor in version 6, visitor and user are no longer needed with the new member management system built in version 6 as well. And as of today, I'm happy to share that with version 7, assets will no longer be needed either, as version 7 is shipping with a much more powerful asset manager. One of the things we're excited about with this change is that if you're building a site that requires only one user, everything we've discussed, as well as what's coming in version 7, is completely free. If you're building a site that requires multiple members, a Pro license will be needed. This keeps ExpressionEngine accessible to new developers just entering the web world, as well as developers who are looking for a new platform of choice. Many of us learned web development working with ExpressionEngine. And we're not just excited to move this into the future, but we're excited to build upon it as well. In version 7, developers can learn to build super powerful web content with everything ExpressionEngine has to offer. One of the questions I often get asked when talking about version 7 is, so what's breaking? The question makes sense because we switched to semantic versioning in version 6, which basically just means every time we break something, we change the major version. So in this case, version 7, we're actually removing 3 core components of ExpressionEngine. For starters, we're removing the forum module. We're also removing IP to nation and simple commerce. If you have them in use at the time you one-click upgrade or use the command line interface to upgrade, they'll simply be moved to your add-ons folder and continue to work as intended. So what's in version 7? For starters, we've already mentioned that ExpressionEngine Pro is 100% merged in. I want to bring in Andy to tell us what that means.
Thanks, Tom. I'm excited about what ExpressionEngine Pro brings to ExpressionEngine 7. For those of you who had the chance to use ExpressionEngine Pro with version 6, you know what I'm talking about. The power and capability that Pro brought to ExpressionEngine was like we've never seen before. Front-end content management. I was so excited to see that. Being able to edit entries directly on the front end of your site. Content editors could simply click on a paragraph, edit the content, and save it right there without ever having to log into the control panel. Rearrange fluid fields, add fluid fields, rearrange grid fields, manage images, all from the front end. Not only that, we could access components from the control panel through the dock. Favorite features from your favorite add-ons right there in the dock, making it easy to use. I love the structure ProLit that allowed you to easily see your site's page tree directly from the front end, being able to search for channel entries. With members, being able to use multi-factor authentication. So many people asked for that, and I was so excited that we were able to put that into Pro. In the back end, cloning entries. Being able to use cookie management. Having cookies in the back end that you can edit, being able to display them in the front end with template tags. And so, one of my favorite features that we brought with Pro was low variables and low search. Two of the most popular add-ons that ExpressionEngine has ever seen, integrated right there with Pro and your Pro license. Now, all those features from ExpressionEngine Pro are part of ExpressionEngine 7. Front-end content management, cookie management, MFA, low search, now known as Pro Search, low vars, now known as Pro Vars. I think Matt's going to talk about that later. All of this now part of ExpressionEngine 7. So anybody who downloads ExpressionEngine 7 right out of the box without having to purchase a Pro license can use all of these features. As somebody who used to be in the agency world and managed almost 100 ExpressionEngine websites, I cannot tell you how excited about this I am. Now, when my clients would have looked at ExpressionEngine, they would have seen how powerful it is without the need for extra add-ons, without the need for more development. Right out of the box, ExpressionEngine is now one of the most powerful CMSs in our space. I'm excited about where we are with 7, and I'm excited about where we're going to go in the future. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. As Andy mentioned, with Pro being rolled in, this includes what were previously known as low variables and low search. To speak further on how this was implemented and what it means for your current sites, we've pulled Matt in from the core development team.
Low search and low variables have long been pillars in the ExpressionEngine add-on world. Low variables has for years been an add-on that lots of developers won't build a site without, and for many, low search is the de facto add-on for all sites that need any advanced search functionality. If you've been around the ExpressionEngine world for any length of time, chances are you've seen these add-ons in use or possibly worked with them firsthand. When we ultimately decided to merge ExpressionEngine Pro into ExpressionEngine, we knew that low search and low variables would need extra attention since they were their own products before this. To create the best experience possible in ExpressionEngine, what we've done is roll them into the core and change their names to Pro Search and Pro Variables. From there, we went ahead and created the aliases for them in the core. We created the alias so that the existing old tags of low search and low variables would continue to work 100% as they used to, while new sites could be developed with the new Pro Search and Pro Variables tag. To do this, we had to modify the template parser to load the new Pro Search and Vars add-on when it saw the old low tags. It then does a mapping of the tags and converts the tags inside the tag pairs to be picked up by the new Pro add-ons. Doing it this way ultimately means that there are no template changes required for existing sites currently using low search and low vars. They will continue to just work whether you leave the old tags in or you choose to update your templates to the new Pro tags. Over the arch of ExpressionEngine 7, our current plan is to ultimately migrate the usage of simple search and advanced search in a similar way to the aliases that we have mentioned. These existing add-ons will start to harness the power of Pro Search behind the scenes, and our intention is to do this in a seamless fashion. This will facilitate a smooth removal of the existing Simple Search and Advanced Search add-ons, while the core will eventually be operating solely under Pro Search. We believe this approach was the best one to take because it allows all existing sites to continue to work while delivering a new and more powerful search experience, not just for the developers, but for the users of the site as well.
Thank you, Matt, for sharing some insight on how we went about merging Pro Search and Pro Variables into the core for all ExpressionEngine users. We believe that merging Pro into the core is an important step for ExpressionEngine, ultimately delivering the best tools for every site. Now let's talk about performance. In version 7, we dared to undertake a performance scope, and not just for a single area in ExpressionEngine, but across the board. To hear more about it, let's pull in Yuri.
In ExpressionEngine 7, one of our main focuses was improving the performance, both in the control panel and the frontend. We aim to reduce the page load time and memory usage, and I'm happy to report that in version 7, certain pages are loading almost twice as fast and require 2 times less memory. The average numbers are 10% improvement on load time and 30% improvement on memory usage throughout control panel and frontend. The exact numbers differ depending on the specific areas and template tags that are being used. However, we've been trying to focus on the components that are either widely used or known to be problematic. So I'm happy to tell that for Entry Manager in the CP, we achieved 40% increase in speed and same decrease in memory. On the front end, we got 20% improvement for complex pages that are using many different fields and tags, but also 10% improvements for simple pages on initial load time. How we got there? We performed analysis of the request processing and code execution to find the pain points. What we found can be fit into 3 categories: things that can be changed or improved, things that can be removed, and things that can be added. Among the things that can be changed, we looked at the database queries that are running. We were able to optimize a lot of those by either adding eager loading or rewriting those into shorter versions. We also saw a lot of duplicate queries when same query was executed in different portions of the code. So we were able to solve that by adding caching to model queries. We also added extra caching in few different areas of control panel. We found some things that can be removed. Example, we noticed that the emojis list is being loaded into memory on each page load, taking several megabytes and just sitting there even if not used. So we removed that behavior and only load emojis if they are actually being used. Categories and channel entries tag on frontend. Previously those were always loaded unless we provided disable parameter. We realized that we could actually remove that behavior and only query for categories if we see those are being accessed by the template. We also added some things like ability to disable the tracker cookie, or the new disable parameter for channel entries tag, relationship custom fields, and relationship categories. Using those as disable parameters allows to dramatically increase front-end performance if you need to display just the list of related entries. And these are just few examples really. We worked on improving many bits and pieces throughout ExpressionEngine, so that when tied together, your experience with E7 would be the best experience you ever had with a CMS.
Thanks, Yuri. Performance has always been an important part of ExpressionEngine, and not just for SEO and web content, as important as that is. We also hold it in high importance that we're actively lowering the carbon footprint for all ExpressionEngine sites. With this performance scope, we're also rolling out the ability to implement global caching on a per template basis. Traditionally in ExpressionEngine, template caching has been used on a URL basis. By implementing this on a per template, global basis, we're ultimately increasing page speeds and decreasing the further carbon footprint of your ExpressionEngine sites. Now let's turn our attention to the file manager. File management has long been a crucial part of every content management system. Over the last year or so, we've been gathering feedback from the community on what they'd ideally like to see in a new file manager. When we took that feedback and we combined it with our own ideas in this space, we've been able to put together a really amazing file manager, and I'm excited to share that with you today. So one of the first things you'll notice when you log into the control panel in ExpressionEngine 7 is the new default light theme. If you want to use the old light theme, you can simply go to the jump menu, choose switch theme, click slate. For our use case, we'll just go ahead and use light for now. Alright, so let's go over and look at the file manager. So one of the first things you'll notice is that the new file manager is using a similar layout to the entries listing page. So let's go ahead and create a new directory. We'll hit new, we'll just call this demo. All right, so what we have here is an adapter. So what does this mean? The adapter, we're going to choose local for now. Basically, in ExpressionEngine version 7, the new file manager is powered by a system called FlySys under the hood. FlySys really opens the door for the usage of any type of file storage you can imagine. So whether that's local, whether it's Amazon S3, whether it's Dropbox, DigitalOcean's objects, whatever you can imagine, there's basically a driver or an adapter for. We're very excited about this as it opens up a lot of power and a lot of possibilities to the new file manager. Our plan is to release as many adapters as we can, and we're sure the community is going to release many as well. So we're excited about that. All right, so let's go here. We're going to just use /demo, and our path will also be /demo. So we're going to go here, we're going to choose all file types. Let's scroll down. One of the other things you'll notice is this is a new setting as well, allow subfolders. So we'll go ahead and check that. And then yes, let's go ahead and keep the subfolders on the top of the listing as well. Everything else is about the same as old versions of ExpressionEngine. We'll hit save, and it's been successfully created. One of the things I want to call out here is that's something that's different than old versions, if you will. We no longer had to go and pre-create that folder. ExpressionEngine will now create your upload directories on the fly for you. So that's another small subtlety that we're pretty happy with. All right, let's go ahead and upload some files. So another major difference between ExpressionEngine 7 and older versions is you can now drag and drop large quantities of files and have them upload directly as intended. Okay, so now that these are uploaded, and as you can see, we're in the grid view. In the grid view, we can also control the columns similar to how we can in the entry listing view. So for instance, it looks like in our images right now, the file name and title are the same. So let's just go ahead and check off the file name. And if we click off, the file name has now disappeared. But let's say we want to see the usage of a given file. So if we go down here and we choose usage, we can click that, click off, and we'll see the usage column here. Now right now, the usage on all of these images is 0. So let's go ahead and get one in use. Call this demo blog, and we'll just put a holder here for content, and we're going to choose an existing image from the demo. Let's go ahead and choose this rabbit. All right, go ahead and hit save, and now we'll go back to our file directory. Click on files, go over to our demo directory, and we'll notice that we now have this usage column that shows that this file is in use. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the details of this file as well. So what you notice is we have this new details file view. From this view, you can download the file, you can copy a link to it. You can see what categories are assigned to it. In this case, there's none because it's just uploaded. You can see the crops that are assigned to it. You can rotate it, resize it, but you can also see the usage as we were just demoing. So in this case, you can go to a given file and you can see a listing of the entries or categories where this image is in use. To view it, you simply click the title of the entry and pulls it up, and you can see it in use here. All right, so let's go back to files and go back to demo. Now, one other thing I want to show here is if we click this new menu here and we hit delete, what you'll notice is you now have a warning that says you're attempting to delete a file and it is in use by 1 entries. To confirm the delete, you have to toggle this or switch this toggle and then hit confirm and delete. Similarly, you can also, from the delete prompt, click to see where a given file is currently in use. All right, so let's go back to our demo directory. One of the things I want to show you real quick is that you can create subfolders simply by clicking new folder. You can type in something like test2 and hit create, and we've now created a new folder. Right, so now that we have our test2 folder created, let's go ahead and move some images into it. We'll simply choose the first 3 images here. I do want to call out that we are also choosing our image that's in use. We'll scroll down to the bottom, we'll hit with selected, move, hit submit, and we'll get a dialog. This dialog now shows us the files that we were looking to move, gives us the options of where to ultimately move these files to. We'll choose our new subdirectory. Then it says, hey, some of these files are in use. You have to move this toggle to confirm. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll hit confirm and move. So now if we go to our test2 directory, we'll notice that our files are here, and the file that has something in use. Just want to show you this real quick. If we go here, the file is still in use. So this isn't a warning that, hey, the files in use are going to break or something along those lines. It's just saying, hey, this is in use. We want you to be aware. All right, so 2 more things to call out real quick. If we go back to our upload directory, what I want to call is there's also a thumbnail view. So in the thumbnail view, you can view your files in the correct aspect ratio as well. In addition to this, one of the questions we often get is, okay, so what happens when I upgrade? I've got a site with several gigs of images. So what happens when you upgrade is everything continues to work as intended with the new file manager, except for 2 items. First of all, you won't have the ability to create subdirectories, and second of all, there is no knowledge of your existing usage. So to enable both subdirectories and to calculate the usage of a given file, you can simply go to the jump menu and type in update, and what you'll see is we have this new update files usage. So you can go here, you can hit update, run through a simple sync process, and then it will enable you to see where a given file is in use, as well as the ability to create subdirectories. We're excited about the new file manager shipping in ExpressionEngine 7, and we're not done yet. We have a lot more planned for it, and we'll continue to move it forward in future releases. We're planning to release several additional adapters for the file manager, and we're sure the community will release some as well. Beyond Pro being merged in, the further integration of Pro Search and Pro Variables, as well as the performance gains and the new file manager, I'm also pleased to share that in version 7, we're also going to support environment files. Working with environment files makes the running of ExpressionEngine in multiple servers and environments a lot easier. So what's next on the horizon? We're going to work on some refinements to the site build experience. In addition to that, we also have Twig and GraphQL on the horizon. We're also excited to share that at the ExpressionEngine conference in October, we have a rather large announcement as well. Before we end, I wanted to give an update on navigation in ExpressionEngine. While ExpressionEngine is used to build all sorts of web content, one of the primary uses is for websites. Structure has been considered by many to be the premier navigation add-on for ExpressionEngine. As of today, I'm happy to share that Structure will be shipping as part of the ExpressionEngine core as well. Here's Matt to tell us a bit more about what we're doing with Structure.
Structure has long been a powerful add-on that lets you create pages, generate navigation, manage content through a simple interface, and build robust sites faster than ever. It forgoes the traditional template group / template setup and creates static and listing pages that are all editable through a tree sitemap view. If you've never used Structure or that sounds at all confusing, just trust the many developers that choose to install Structure on every single site build. It has long been the de facto standard for hierarchical navigation management in ExpressionEngine. Today we're excited to share that we are merging it into ExpressionEngine. Starting in ExpressionEngine 7, Structure will ship as part of the core product and will be available to everyone right off the bat. If you're in the group that has never given Structure a go, we encourage you to download the new ExpressionEngine 7 and play around with it. It might totally change the way you build sites in the future, and your clients will most likely thank you for it. Structure has evolved to become an extremely robust and reliable tool, adding the ease of drag and drop to managing your site's layouts and navigation. And combining ExpressionEngine Pro's front-end editing and Structure's ProLit, it's more of a joy to work with than it has ever been. In addition to this, moving Structure into the core is ultimately opening the door for us to, over the course of version 7, effectively remove pages and have Structure stand in its place. The framework has already been laid for many of the core technology changes we intend to implement. As Structure gradually eclipses the Pages add-on over the course of V7, we don't anticipate any changes being required for existing sites. Much like Pro Search tags being backwards compatible with Low Search, our current plan is for Pages to seamlessly assimilate into Structure with no dev time being required and the change all happening behind the scenes. We believe this approach was the best one to take because it allows all existing sites to continue to work while delivering the power and flexibility of Structure to sites that might otherwise not use it.
Thank you, Matt. In closing, I'm happy to share that ExpressionEngine version 7 is available today. On behalf of the entire ExpressionEngine team, I want to say thank you for your time and thank you for tuning in.